So to start a product, an assembly, you want to go over here just like we did before. We got a plus sign right here. We'll open up a new tab, and then you come over to this plus sign, and instead of hitting a 3D part, this time we're going to say a physical product. You see, that's what that's about. So I hit this, and I get that right there. Physical product number something. And if you come over here, Block Lab A1, look at the icon. You see that right there? That's what that is, you see? So this is the beginning of it. This is a container that holds all of our parts. So then where does all the stuff come from that we got to put in here? Well, we could get them from somewhere else, as in we could have made them already, and we will do that later. Or we can build them inside of the assembly. So this is what we're going to do first. Either way, starting either way would have been fine. We've got to start. So I go to this thing, and if I double click on it, there's a thing pops up. You could right click on it, you get some stuff. Well, what are you supposed to do? Well, you come down here and you look at assembly and product modification. We have some of these things down here, and if you look at insert new product, there's a little arrow right next to it. You can hit that, and you can read that we have a new 3D part, we have a new product, so on and so on. Okay. And then next to it, we have insert an existing product or 3D shape or something, right? So start new things or insert existing things. To insert an existing thing, like I said, that we'll see later, you have to find it somewhere. So that's going to be, if you just kind of think ahead, that's sort of a thing that's going to happen. You're going to say, insert this existing thing. You're going to end up here basically in a search. You're going to say, find that bolt, find that nut that you made before, and then you can bring it in, okay? So here's the first part. We're going to make the base. So I say, insert new part, new 3D part. So I hit that, and it sits here and does nothing. V5, they've all done this. It just sits here. Well, what's happening? Well, it wants you to click where it's supposed to go. And this seems very strange right now in the beginning because there's only one thing right here, physical product. Think about this. You could have products inside of products inside of products, or what I'm saying is sub-assemblies, right? So that'll definitely be a topic later. But this means that there could be multiple folders, if you want to think of these like folders, and it wants to know where you want to put this new part. So I want to put it right there. So all you really have to do is click it, and then there it is. So if I hit all of this, right, you see, there's our part. Now, if you grab a little branch, by the way, if you're careful, you can kind of drag it over. I like to have it a little off from the side. So then how do I make something in here? So I have my part, but down here, everything is assembly design icons. What I need to do, real simple, you might think, okay, well, I got to go back up to this silly thing and I have to go back over to part design. Well, you do need to get to part design, but all you have to do is find the part that you want to work on or the product that you want to work on and double click it. So right here, 3D shape, if you double click on that, it understands that this is a part design type object. It could be surface design as well. And when you double click on it, then you get your familiar icons again down here at the bottom, okay? So now I can start building something. And then after I'm done, if I want to get back to assembly, then you double click on this, and now you're back up at the top, so to speak, and you could assemble your different parts. More on that later, of course. So we'll get back into here, and by the way, you could just double click on part body if you wanted to. I'm going to make a sketch, and I have really bad colored planes here, so it's kind of hard to see because they're white on white background. So I'll make a centered rectangle here, and this is going to be 50 by 50. 50 constraints by 50. Exit out, and then extrude this. This is, oops, didn't mean to make an axis system. I'm going to have to change this here. Watch this. So you go here to ambience, and I can change it from white experience to maybe dark mirror, dark review. You see? So that'll be a little bit better right now because this computer I'm sitting at, it's, every computer I sit at seems to have a different color scheme going on. Okay, so I have my sketch here. I want to pad this one up 20. So there's the default. It's not selected, so make sure you click it. That's good enough. And now the one I did before, I made it yellow, okay? And that wasn't just because I like the pretty colors. I want to color it because the more parts you start to put together in assembly, the harder it's going to be to figure out which one's which. I would maybe not recommend making them be, try to make it look just like the real life object, because again, if it's a machine, it might be kind of gray metal with gray metal and gray metal. It's nice to have a lot of contrast. Okay, so this is it. So that's it. That's my base part here. Well, I'm going to need to name this, so I can come up here to this one, and I'll have to talk about that a little bit. You go here to reference, and here's the title, just as it was before. So this is going to be base, just like that. But if you notice right here, it says base, and then it says physical product and a number after it, .1. Okay. This is your part instantiation. So that's a word you need to remember, because it's used a lot in this type of environment here. So an instance of something. Okay, so think about that word. If I have one of these, I have one instance. And then if I copy this and pasted it in here, more or less, and then I had two of them sitting out here, I would have another instance of it, you see? So instantiation is the word that they use. It's used in a lot of CAD programs for the act of making another instance of a thing. Okay. So right now, what this name is telling us here is this is the first instance of this thing called physical product, whatever. We'll see this again for sure. You see reference and instance right here. And we'll talk about all this stuff that we're going to see, as we kind of skim over the surface. We'll talk about all this again. There's ways and times where this won't happen, what I'm doing right now. So I have to type this in again. You don't have to. You don't have to, by the way. But I'm going to say base.1, hit enter. So I changed it. So now it's a little bit maybe more understandable. Keep in mind what I just said. You do not have to do this. It's just about clarity, so that I can say that this is a product called base, and it happens to be base 1. Okay. Imagine we had nuts and bolts, right? You have a fastener. You bring in one fastener. You might bring in 20 fasteners as well. Okay. So then you would have fastener 1, fastener 2, fastener 3. That's what that's for.